Hey, what is happening everyone? Welcome back to another video, and boy do I have something exciting for you guys. Today we have the Sega Mega Drive 2, and yes, this is a clone console, and it was actually my childhood console. So let's get right into it. So one day I was actually browsing GearBest, and I saw this come up on the news section, and I was like, wait a minute, a Sega Genesis? It was labeled as a retro console and nothing about a Sega Genesis other than the box itself. But of course, I recognized it and was like, I had to get this. Yeah, I was actually surprised. It arrived in 10 days after ordering this thing. It was actually shipped from Great Britain, so I was pretty surprised. I paid $25 American in total, including shipping, which was pretty cheap if you ask me. But yeah, this is a clone console. The actual list of games kind of ends somewhere around here, and then everything else is pretty much duplicates, which is common for these kind of consoles. But yeah, here's the front of the box. Here is the back of the box. Once again, we got some random pictures. We got Batman. We got definitely a good software, a pretty good selection of software libraries. So yeah, it's you know, this is good. And we got Lion King. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? I expect there should be some kind of cartridge. And I have a good feeling about it actually running actual Sega games. During my childhood, I've actually owned about 3 of these because my little brother, we used to play, and he keeps breaking them. He would literally just pull the console with the controller and just destroy it. So yeah, here we go. The $25 Sega Genesis clone. Here we go. Okay, that was a bad start. All right, let's, oh my God, that is so lightweight. It feels like there is nothing in here. I can already smell the plastic and everything. So let's see what it says here. Step of installation. Manual. Who needs this? Nobody needs this. Okay, the controller. I'll be damned. It's cheap. I mean, it's super cheap. I have the actual controllers. I'll show you guys in just a bit here. But not gonna lie, the actual buttons do feel pretty good. Yeah, that's what it feels like. I mean, the buttons here feel just fantastic. They're actually pretty good. These ones are kind of mushy, but they're definitely good. Everything here is solid. I mean, just listen to this. I mean, yes, does it rattle? Yes, it does rattle, but it definitely feels really good. The D-pad here feels fluid, but overall, the plastic is not polished. It feels like someone dropped some acetone on top of it. The cable here, it looks like it is just ultra short. Let's take a look here. I mean, what can I say? It's a half a meter or so. Not bad, not bad. Well, we'll take a look at that in just a bit. Then we got the power adapter, which feels like, oh my, again, it feels like there is nothing in here. Okay, maybe there's something, but it's 220 volt, 50, 60 hertz, 10 volts DC, at 1.0 amps. And we'll be comparing that to the original one. Then we get another controller. Then we have the AV adapter, which uses an S-Video, I think, but it's a mono cable, which the original Mega Drive 2 did not have mono. Only the first Genesis actually had mono. The Mega Drive 2 had stereo. And here's the console itself. So it's, there's absolutely nothing in here. I mean, holy crap, we're gonna have to take this thing apart and take a look at it. There is nothing. It is so lightweight. And man, just get a whiff of that plastic. Here's the AV out, power in, and on the top, do we have? Yep, we actually have a space for the cartridge, which is pretty exciting. So we're gonna test that out. Power switch feels pretty good. Reset button feels fantastic. And here are the front controller ports, which are Cricket. So now let's do some comparisons to the original controllers and the first Genesis. All right, so here's the Mega Drive 2 clone, and here is the original Sega Genesis. And hold on one sec. I just dust it up right there. And yeah, the size difference is there. It had the channel 3, channel 4 switch, the RF out, the AV out, which had the proprietary connector. And I believe the original Mega Drive 2 had a more straightforward connector, which was S-Video or just straight up AV. And then the power adapter right there. But yeah, this is a massive console and it feels pretty awesome. And that's why I love Genesis. It's just got that nice gritty feel to it. You got a nice headphone control volume right here. You got a headphone jack, which is pretty awesome. A reset button and the on-off switch. And just for comparison, here's what they weigh actually. So get ready for this. This is the Mega Drive 2 clone. It weighs 276 grams. And here is the original Genesis without the side cover. 940 grams. Then we have the clone controller with the 6 buttons and the original controller with the 6 buttons. And both of them feel pretty good. In fact, the start button on the clone actually feels much better, which is surprising. Maybe this one was worn out, but take a listen. Here's the clone. Here's the original. And I just noticed something. The mode button is actually not there on the clone. Only the original, right over here. And lastly, we have the original Sega Genesis controller, the massive 3-button one, which it feels like the Xbox Duke controller, but it does feel pretty good in the hand. I mean, It's massive. If you have big hands, you're gonna love this. It kind of has an awkward hole to it, just like the Duke on the Xbox. Really, it's just a design preference. They both work pretty much the same, and yeah, that's what they look like. Lastly, we have the power adapters. Here's the clone, here's the original. The original is a 9 volt at 1.2 amps, and then let's see if you can plug in the original stuff on the clone. So the power adapter does fit. Obviously, the AV adapter does not work from the original, so we're gonna use the clone. All right, there we go. And last but not least, the actual controller. Yeah, so everything fits perfectly fine. Now the real test is to see if a game will fit in there. Apparently so. You can fit a game in there, so that's pretty cool. All right, enough talk. Let's go ahead and power this thing. Go check out where those hidden games are, the 366 games. Let's do this. Now I could have went ahead and hooked it up to this TV, but why would we do that if we have an original CRT TV that is mono audio? And yeah, this was pretty much similar to what I had back in my childhood. A small TV this size. We also had a big living room one, but I had my own small TV in this format. It was small, it was beautiful, and it was just awesome. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hook up the power using the original adapter from my original Sega. And let's just set this aside right there. Turn on the TV, hook the controllers up. All right, moment of truth. Will it work? Here we go. Okay, so it's glitchy. We'll be back in a moment. Alright, and we are back, and apparently this thing is actually meant for PAL only. It can't support NTSC, and I should have expected that from the power adapter. Yeah, we got it working on the chamois TV that we have here, so obviously modern TVs can automatically adapt to these kind of situations. So when you first turn it on, you'll end up with the screen, and the text kind of vibrates for a bit, and then it will just stabilize. But it does work, so I haven't actually done anything yet. Here we have the menus. So we got Sonic 1, World Cup, Omega Racing. We get this cool tone going on. Okay, next page, and it just seems like just a bunch of copies of the same exact games over and over and over again until we get to 366 or 68. Okay, so we got Mega Drive Sonic Boy. Well, let's try that out. I am ready to get amazed or be amazed. Oh God, better lower the volume. Oh, that's terrible. Oh no, that's bad. This is straight from like a horror movie. Just take a listen. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it here. Let's restart. That was terrible. Let's try Sonic 1. This is even worse. I mean, oh, sorry guys, I just can't. This is just too bad. Can we find a single game that doesn't sound and play like crap? It's just ultra laggy. This thing cannot handle any of the original games. Toy Sonic? What is Toy Sonic? Let's try Tetris. I mean, that should be an easy game to run, right? Oh boy. What? Yep, terrible game. Okay, Omega Race. Pure Byte presents Omega Race. Oh wow. Some kind of Astros game. Okay, I mean, this runs, right? It's got some ping pong. I mean, I gotta give it to them. It loads pretty quickly. I press the reset button, the menu comes up, starts the game instantly. Okay, so it's a great ping pong machine. Okay. Now, oh, it's 2 players. Okay, no wonder. All right. Now, one thing you notice about the textures and pretty much everything in this, when we're playing it on this TV is that the Xiaomi TV right here actually post-processes everything, so everything is smoothed out. But I bet if I didn't have that, it wouldn't look okay. But I mean, menus look good, and I see a whole lot of color fringing on the yellow letters over there. Let's try some kind of Mario game if we can find something. We got Barbie Sonic. We gotta try this out. Okay, it's loading quickly. Okay, Yep, instant regret. Okay, and it seems like they actually got to a point where they're like just gave up and just started copying and pasting the last 50 renamed games, and that's it. And it's just like the same exact stuff. Omega Race 2002. So if I run that, it'll be the same game. We got Super Sonic. That's going to be the exact same game. Final Soccer again, Special Omega, and it's like Special Sonic, Sonic Special, whatever. Okay, well, clearly everything here sucks. We got Ping Pong. I mean, at least we can play Pong pretty good. And Astro, it looks pretty good. We got Drag Zone, I don't know. We got Happy Sonic. I mean, some of these games make me want to play them and are made by Pure Byte and Omega. Okay, never mind, it's the exact same thing. Yep. Okay, why is it called Omega Race? Now, there's actually one more game we should try out, and the soccer game. Apparently, there's a bunch of renames. Let's see if it runs. It's looking good, looking good. Okay. Just anything. Just start. That looks terrible. But hey, it actually plays pretty well. Nope. Alright, enough of this crap. All these games are terrible. I think we actually have like 10 games. Not even. They're all renames. Let's go ahead and actually try a game from an actual cartridge. So right here I got Cyborg Justice. I'm going to pop that in and try to power this thing up. Hey. Okay. Okay. Okay, it seems like it just keeps, wait, okay. Not bad, it actually runs. By the way, Cyborg Justice is a game I cannot play at all. I am terrible at it. It's a pretty hard game to play. So now that we know that actual cartridges run, and they run pretty well, although the sound sounds pretty terrible, and the picture is kind of too bright, and that could be because of the screen that I have here. Let's go ahead and try my SD card game cartridge, some kind of Everdrive clone that I have here, which is loaded with a ton of games. So let's try that out. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and select a game. Fat initialize. So I guess it can't run in Everdrive. Let's try launching a game that's already been loaded onto the memory. Let's just go play a game right here. Yep, it doesn't actually run. So, oh well, back to Cyborg Justice, because that's the only legit game that I actually have. Now, back in my childhood, I had the whole collection of the games I had played, like Aero Blaster, Sonic 1, 2, 3, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, and Granada, which is one of my favorite games, and Battle City, and all those good ones. But it seems like it does run games off the cartridges fine, but anything loaded off the built-in firmware seems to be just terrible. I'm actually doing a pretty good job at beating this, oh. Yep, they just wrecking me. So this game has a lot of combinations you could do to play this game. It's just really hard. And the enemies here don't give you a chance. Especially for like a starting round, it's just getting demolished here. Just look at this. They're too good. It's like a boss fight already, right off the start. Hey, I beat him. Cool. Oh boy. Just take a look at this, like how you're supposed to fight these and learn how to play this game. But once you do get the hang of it, it's actually pretty good. Oh boy. There we go. Yeah, it just needs a bit of concentration and a bit of combinations. Alright, GG. Well, that's the end of that. So we'll go ahead and take it apart and wrap this video up. And the moment of truth, what is inside this thing? Oh my god. What is this? This is the top shell. This is the inside of the shell. Do you see anything that resembles a motherboard or anything that runs anything? Holy. This is actually pretty impressive. You got the PCB for the AV and the power adapter hooked up with this ribbon cable that is soldered onto the motherboards. We got the cartridge slot, and it seems like the actual motherboard is right here. It's part of the cartridge slot. Let's take this apart. Alright, and that seems to be about it. Again, that's the bottom shell, that's the top shell, and the shells do feel pretty good, but this is the whole console. I'm holding it in my hands. That is the front connectors, that is the power switch, that's the cartridge holder, and these are the I/Os in the back. Pretty impressive. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Stuff that says on the PCB, I have no idea what it is. It's pretty impressive on what they packed in this little thing and how cheap this thing is. It's $25. And you get what you pay for. But I certainly had fun playing around with this thing. All left to do is probably to take apart one of the controllers and see what it looks like on the inside. What did you expect? It's pretty much what you expect right here. That's all it is. And that is pretty much it for this video. So what have we learned from this thing? Well, it's a $25 Sega Genesis console that is indeed running Sega Genesis firmware or some kind of emulation. And it is running on some kind of Spansion chip from like 2004. It's obsolete, it's a 16-bit chip, and I'll leave links for it in the datasheet in the description below. As well, here's a picture of what it looks like. And the black blob beside it was probably the storage and memory. And get this, for the claimed 366 games, yes, we have already played all of them. There were only 4 of them. The rest were pretty much renames, and up to like 150 games, they actually gave up and just started copying and pasting names. They pretty much tried to make unique names for 366 titles. It's insane, and obviously they gave up on that. And although we can't confirm it 100%, it can run Sega Genesis cartridges on this puny little board. And Cyborg Justice ran pretty fine, except the fact that colors weren't very accurate, of course, and the sound was also pretty distorted, which is to be expected from something like this. The conclusion, $25, what did I get here? Well, I think I got a piece of my childhood. I probably have landed myself on one of these back in the day. I doubt it. I don't remember having a bad experience, and I knew my Sega Genesis really well, so I doubt I had one of these. I actually had one that was an NES inside a Genesis box kind of thing. That was trash. I returned it like right away. But for $25, what I got here are 2 actual working Sega Genesis controllers, which is nice, and they do work and they feel pretty nice. It's just the cables are short. And the biggest thing here is I got myself a pretty nice lightweight Mega Drive 2 box. And what I could do with this is install some kind of microboard inside of it, like a Raspberry Pi or some kind of Windows-based board, like a Panda board or something. There's a bunch of variations. For $25, this is what I got, and I'm pretty happy with it because I can still mod it very easily. It's got 4 screws, and the inside of it is pretty straightforward. There's just nothing. So I can easily install whatever I want here and have a pretty cool looking, lightweight, and functional Sega Genesis retro system that can run other games and whatnot. So I can have these as USB ports or something. I can install Wi-Fi and have all the I/O on the side. So I'm pretty happy with this purchase. Obviously, don't buy this if you plan to play games. This is stupid because it's cheap and it doesn't even run games properly. But if you're looking for a pretty nice Sega Genesis box for modding and having fun with it, then it's probably worth it because the box here actually looks really good. And yeah, that is actually pretty much it for this video. So yes, I do plan to mod this into a working system, but either way, this is going to be pretty exciting. Look forward for that video. Once I do make it, I'll link it down below. And most likely that video is going to be on the Total Kommando channel where the modding stuff is going to be. So with all that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe if you like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.